With respect, I was just asking about the women, and you turned it back to Israel.
Terrorist organizations like Hamas obviously are using these as tools. However, I think we have to be balanced about bringing in the outrages against Palestinians.
Yeah. Balanced in our condemnation. It's hard to imagine, right? Rationalizing rape. To be fair, though, progressives are only playing to their people. It's the progressive street at college campuses and across big cities that are fueling this divide in America, this divide in the Democratic Party. For example, here's the White House's take on the both sidesism of Hamas's medieval campaign through Israel.
I can only speak for the president. That's who I can speak for, and we've been clear. What Hamas did is absolutely reprehensible, and full stop. We're going to continue to be clear, and I'll just leave it there. And I'm speaking for the President of the United States, so I think I've been very clear on that.
Clear enough, Batya Ungar-Sargon, opinion editor of Newsweek, clear enough to say that it's wrong, but the White House won't condemn the people who are both sides in it. What do you make of that?
I want to make sure your audience understands what we just witnessed with Pramila Jayapal's interview, because it is part of it's a microcosm of something much, much larger, which is this, Leland. The same people who for 6 years have told us that every man who flirts with a coworker should be chased out of public life, the same people who replaced due process with believe all women, these same people and organizations, when presented with evidence of the mass rape of Israeli women, suddenly turned around and said, we need more context, we need more evidence. Who's to say? They took their standard of believe all women and flipped it on a dime to don't even believe the men who are bragging about mass rapes the minute the victims were Jews.
I'd say that's pretty clear. What I'm trying to figure out is the divide in the Democratic Party over this, because it's pretty interesting, right, that there is this divide. And, Joe Scarborough had this to say. Take a listen.
She's asked again about it, and she goes, yes, it's terrible, it's bad, I'm against it. However, acting as if nobody's talked about the civilian death toll in Gaza. She can't just condemn Jewish women being brutalized and it being videotaped and people seeing it.
Right, and the reason she can't is political, right? I mean, obviously, she may be a true believer, but at the same time, there's also all these protesters. We saw them throughout New York City over the weekend, throughout Philadelphia, where they showed up at a Jewish falafel shop and started chanting, Goldie, Goldie, you're guilty of genocide, on the UPenn campus and the like. This is what I think is interesting, though, and this really goes to the divide. So we heard what KJP, the White House spokesperson, was willing to say from the podium. But then we got this email from Andrew Bates regarding the Philadelphia restaurant protest over the weekend. It's anti-Semitic and completely unjustifiable to target restaurants that serve Israeli food over disagreements with Israeli policy. As Governor Shapiro has underlined, this behavior reveals a kind of cruel and senseless double standard that is the calling card of anti-Semitism. What I can't figure out, and I'm hoping you can help explain, why the White House seems to have at least a sense of moral clarity, especially Andrew Bates, as it relates to their statements on paper, and goes to such unbelievable gymnastics when it goes to what KJP says behind the podium.
You know, Leland, you're not going to be surprised when I say this. It's not just about politics. It's also about class. If you have spent significant time in an American university, especially an elite American university, you have spent time in a pressure cooker where you are taught day in and day out that there's no difference between right versus wrong. There is only powerful versus powerless, and who has darker skin and lighter skin. And the person with darker skin has no agency and no power, and thus is inherently virtuous. And that you, if you have lighter skin or any kind of power, institutional power, or their fictional white power, whatever that is, you don't have the right to have a moral compass. You don't have a right to make distinctions between right and wrong. These people have been denuded of a moral compass, and that is by design by progressives.
All right. Your answer about the rapes of Israeli women, I thought was powerful and important. Thank you, as always. We'll see you soon, all right? Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.